A major move from the White House comes as President Biden will pardon all prior federal offenses for simple marijuana possession. Take a listen.
Just for using or possessing marijuana. Too many lives have been upended because of our failed approach to marijuana. It's time that we right these wrongs.
And joining me this morning is Reform Alliance Chief Advocacy Officer Jessica Jackson. Jessica was involved with both President Trump's and President Obama's pardons and commutations. Jessica, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
I understand there's only about 6,500 folks that would be directly impacted by this as far as commuting or pardoning their crimes for simple marijuana possession at the federal level. Can you explain to us that number and why the number is not larger?
Well, let's zoom out a little bit and look at what the president said yesterday. So there were three main components to the tweet that he put out, the announcement he put out. The first piece being the federal piece that you just named. So that is going to apply to the 6,500 people. That number is folks in the federal system. It will also apply to people who have been convicted of simple marijuana possessions in D.C. So that is not part of that number, and it will be higher because of that. The second part of his announcement was that he was calling on governors across the country to do the same. So that is going to be a much, much higher number. Normally, simple possession does not rise to the level of federal investigation. But in the states, it could be a much, much larger number. And then the third part of his announcement was that he wants to see the Attorney General, he instructed the Attorney General to look into descheduling marijuana. So that is the next biggest step that could happen in the legalization process and decriminalization process.
And that recommendation or the discussion of descheduling marijuana, as you mentioned, it's a Schedule I drug right now. It's the same as LSD and heroin. The president said in a statement that that is wrong. But as far as that conversation, descheduling it, that's not the same as legalizing recreational. So the descheduling is something he can do without Congress, but the legalization, he needs Congress. Is that right?
Yes, and this isn't just what the president wants, what Congress wants. This is actually what the American people want. Last year, there was a poll put out by Gallup that showed 2 out of every 3 American adults actually support legalization of marijuana at this point. We've seen 27 states legalize it, which of course is in conflict with federal law. And we know that right now, as we're facing the brink of a recession, something like legalization and then taxing it and regulating it could actually help us economically as well and help turn us around from this recession. So there are lots of reasons why this is a good announcement, both for the people who are going to be getting their records cleared, as well as for Americans who may not have a marijuana charge, but may be interested in the good of the country.
And one more question for you. This is really important for the folks out there that might be impacted by this. How does it actually work in practice? It's not as if the president just waves a wand and says, guess what? Check your criminal record. It's now clear of this simple marijuana possession. So how is this going to work in practice at the federal level? And then eventually, if the states decide to take their own action, how would it work at that level too?
So it could work a number of ways. We already have expungement laws across the country where people can apply to have their record expunged. I assume it'll be the same sort of application process that we have now for pardons. And then you'll have the attorneys checking to see, is this person actually eligible for a pardon? Do they have a simple possession crime, marijuana conviction? And then they'll be able to grant them. What we do know is that those pardons are going to be life-changing for people who have been impacted by these convictions and have been therefore shut out of housing opportunities, education opportunities, employment opportunities. These pardons are going to be everything in unlocking those doors and giving people an opportunity to succeed.
Do you have any ballpark on how long that process might take?
I'm sure it'll be a lengthy process, but I hope it's the first of many processes, because what we know from the last 30, 40 years of failed tough on crime policies is that locking people up and giving them convictions for simple drug use and other drug crimes really doesn't actually help the problem. If nothing else, it makes it worse. What we need to do is reallocate these resources to substance abuse treatment and get people back on their feet and give them a real meaningful opportunity to succeed.
So this sounds like step one. Jessica Jackson from the Reform Alliance, thank you very much for coming on Morning in America.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.